So we're just gonna do a quick tour and walk around of this BMW iX XDrive50. Now the iX, of course, caused a lot of controversy in the BMW community. BMW fans are known to be loyalists to their brand and think they're better than everyone else. But when this came out, no one was defending this. Let's all be honest. Everyone did not do this. Everyone disliked the design. And yeah, it wasn't looked like anything of a BMW. But what did stand out was, of course, that front end. And regarding that, yours are just your two lung grills. It's just a plastic cover. Of course, your safety systems and radars are in there, like your forward collision mitigation system, automatic emergency braking. And if you had the driver's assistance package, you'd have the adaptive cruise control with traffic jam assist, all that safety stuff, you know. And yeah, it's not particularly pretty, I'll admit. For myself, you might like it. But I would not call it hideous, but I would not call it definitely pretty, especially to like X5, X6 front ends like that. This one does come equipped with the BMW laser light. It did unlock. As you can get a little glimpse of that, you have the blue housing in there a little bit. And compared to an adaptive LED, I believe this just keeps your high beams on when something passes by, then switching to a low beam, and it adapts to that condition. We've tried it, it does work, but an adaptive LED does the job perfectly fine as well. I heard Europe gets all the perks, gets brighter lumens than US safety regulations. But yeah, you do have your 21-inch wheels wrapped in 255 wide tires, and this actually has a sport package, not M Sport to be exact, which does include blue brake calipers, this black trim. A normal iX would not have this black trim around. And yeah, you also have your suspension system, which from the guy told me at the dealership, it's like hydraulic. It's a hydraulic suspension system which adapts to the road ahead progressively as the road surface changes. So of course it's not just your basic shocks, right? So of course it has to have some technology, and you can get a 2-axle rear suspension in the back. Now from the side profile of the iX, it's up to you what you think about it. I kind of like it. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but I do like how it looks by the side. You do have your flush door handles right here, which are electronic. Yeah, and unlike the new 5 Series, the 5 Series actually has a manual release, kind of like the old Honda Accord, which I thought was which I actually kind of disliked. It did remind me of those vibes, but I could care less about flush door handles. I think they will work well on a vehicle like this. So yeah, here's your charge port situation. This is your slow charging right here, if you're just gonna charge at home. And by the way, we took about, what, 13 hours of charging? It went from 80 to 92%. So a 110 outlet, guys, unless you barely drive, is not the way to go with these. And of course, your fast charging, which Electrify America does give a free trial on that for BMW. And I believe it goes from 10 to 80% in 35 minutes and a full charge in about 8 hours. But 35 minutes is just for a fast charging. A normal 220 would get you 8 hours. So that's for a 110, 220, like of that nature. Range is about 310 miles, realistically. Here's the back 3/4. And this is a loaner vehicle. Rear is not anything too significant. Full LED taillights. It's not gonna, there we go. That looks pretty freaking cool, I'll admit. And this camera does pop out clean itself as well. iX badging. And yeah, this is a Storm Bay blue metallic exterior. It's not an individual color. So it's also $1,950. So it's not cheap either. It's up to you if you like the blue or not. But yeah, it's not a cheap paint option. iX badging in the C pillar. And yeah, so let's hop in. New key, by the way. Actually, it feels very light, actually. The X5 G05 key feels much more heavier than this. It's not a bad looking key. I think it's a lot cleaner. But yeah, they didn't really need to change a key, but it does look cool still. So no really complaints. As you can see, it's just a button to really open the door. And this does have acoustic protection. And if you notice, the glass is frameless right here. And the thing is with the frameless glass design, I noticed is that when you actually shut the door, it does sound a little bit tinny. It doesn't, I'm not saying it doesn't sound solid, but compared to other models in the lineup, yeah, there are more solid sounding doors than this. But again, frameless design, it does look really cool. Now onto your door panel. It is a very nicely built vehicle. Of course, you have your fabric right here, which I do not mind. Your bronze trim, which does actually look, I love the bronze trim. It does break up the black interior a lot, very nicely. Soft touch materials, and this is your BMW Sensatech right here. If I didn't read the window sticker, I wouldn't have known this was leather. So props to that. I like that. I actually don't mind it too much. Your window switches right here and your power folding mirrors. Of course, you're paying $90K for a BMW. Of course, you should get power folding mirrors. Your stitching right here, and as well as your soft touch, and your trunk release is in your door bin. Now, this is one of the vehicles, I believe, to adapt the carbon core. Started with the 7 Series of the previous generation. I don't think the new 7 Series has it anymore, but it's just carbon fiber components in the actual frame. Your seat control, so you can see, it says forward and back here. And to actually control more of that, you have to go into the menus with this button. Your seats, which are very comfortable seats. They're very comfortable seats. One of the most comfortable seats, if not the most comfortable seats to actually drive in, for me at least. You have this cool pass-through right here, which it makes the car feel so much more spacious than it is. To be fair, I will give it that. It's a great adapter, especially in a vehicle quirky like this. So why not? So let's shut the door. And here is your interior. Very well built interior. BMW has really stepped up the game in this segment with that. Your leatherette dash, of course. Your hexagon steering wheel. I'll fire it up right now. So yeah, new chime, of course. And here's your steering wheel. It's a hexagon steering wheel, guys. Haven't seen that before, have you? When I first drove it, it definitely felt different. But I've gotten a bit used to it. Would I prefer a normal steering wheel? Yes. Do I mind it? No. But you can adapt for a normal steering if you get rid of this bronze trim, like for this brown wood trim, I believe. Something BMW phased out was the headlight switch and the buttons. It's literally just 2 buttons to control your headlights now. So it's minimalist, really. And here's our BMW Live Cockpit Professional for iDrive 8. I believe 2024 got the 8.5. So here you can control your multimedia systems right here, and then you can also control your gauge cluster display, how you want things laid out, things of that matter. And yeah, of course, you have your cruise control and your turn signals, your wiper controls. And the thing about steering, BMW has gotten a lot of criticism for that, but in this car, the steering feels very nice on this compared to the actual X5. It does feel actually has some heft to it. I wouldn't call it heavy, but it does have more heft than an X5. I will admit that. Now here is your iDrive 8 system. It's a 12.3-inch screen here and 14.5 right here. I wouldn't say it's easier to use than iDrive 7. I just say it's more minimalist to use than iDrive 7. You can add whatever you want, your widgets right here. And you really only have 4 submenus. Your apps, which is a lot actually. You can get a massage in this car, which it's a first for me, and I actually really love that. It's a gimmick, but it is a cool gimmick. Of course, your interior lighting, your live vehicle, adjust all your settings of that matter. All these little gimmicks, of course, that come with the purchase of a BMW. Your music, which is basically just the base sound system. You can get the Bowers & Wilkins Diamond system. Your phone, your navigation, and Apple CarPlay displays on a nice wide screen. And now, if I would prefer, of course, a physical button, but your climate menu is just right here. Everything's right here. If you get accustomed to this, what each function and where each function is, it should work fine. But of course, still I'd prefer a physical button. But this works, it works okay. I would not call it a great execution, but I'd say it's okay. Gesture control, little gimmick. And yeah, I'm not gonna go through too in depth of the system. It'll take me double-digit minutes, guys. We're already getting the double-digit minutes. Your glove box by a button, and down here you have your toggle switch right here. This does not have the PAS system, parking assistance, but you do of course get a great backup camera still. You have your drive, and if you push for B, you do get heavy regenerative braking. I really got to get used to that. It's a weird system to use. I'm not a fan of it yet, but it is really cool though. And your glass control knob and your volume. And to change your modes, I'm gonna be very honest, I do not know the difference between these three modes. They feel all the same, but efficient, sport, and of course you can customize what you want. Up top are your lights, and here's your roof that doesn't open, but by a push of a button, you can see stuff out of it, right? No ultraviolet rays actually do come through, which is nice though. I find that very cool. And down here is your wireless charger and your cup holder. So yeah, we'll head to the back. You can actually just turn the car off by just doing that. And it's just by a push of a button. Now the actual back seat, this is where it differs compared to an X5. The room in here is immense compared to that. This is my driving position, and I still have loads of room in here. An X5, the seat would probably go about right here. This is my knee. It's 5'7" individual. And here's your rear climate controls. Heated seats are an option, of course. Cup holders are down here. Just pop out. Very nice. And I'd like to mention the two USB ports, USB-C ports, which add up to 4, which is cool in my opinion. And your dome reading lights up top, as well as your vents. So overall, this is for road trips, I would be perfect. Even to see if the seats don't move, the amount of room you get here compared to an X5 is great. This is where the ground up EV thing comes in, and the overall size, how they use the size is, it's great. I'll admit that. And of course, we'll just look at the trunk area. What the heck? Weird. That's a little weird, I'll admit. So you do have your emergency release, and then you can fold your seats down like so, right? And then down below here, you do have your storage here. You can put your charger in there if you wanted to. And yeah. Trunk area is the same size as an X5. And because there are no lights, remainder of lights, you do have these lights right here, so someone can see you at night. So we'll close that. Yeah. And that's pretty much the review of the 2023 BMW iX XDrive50. Overall, I think it's a very quirky car, to say the least. And if you're looking for EV out here, I definitely recommend this if you can get over the design. Longevity of it still has to be tested, but as an overall EV, the drive is amazing. The suspension, quietness, I didn't know how it could get better than the normal X5, but it has in this. It definitely has. Center of gravity, because it's batteries, handles very nicely through the corners. Unless you're missing engine noise, this car, it drives amazingly. I'll admit that. It drives amazingly. So yeah, I'll credit BMW and their engineers, not their designers, their engineers. They really did a great job on how the drive of this car goes, because that's where your money really goes in to this car, is how it drives. So yeah, thank you for watching this. It's not a very quick review, but it is a comprehensive review of this 2023 iX. And yeah, hope to see you again soon. And comment if you want more reviews. And thank you.